A Therapist takes on Death Note, episodes 3 and 4 of season 1. I don't know. I recovered from episodes 1 and 2, but you know it's like L versus Light. Who's going to win? Which side's better? Can a therapist actually take on Death Note, understand it, and come out of it without, mental damage? I don't know, because this whole concept of a Death Note book is probably not what my fellow cohort therapists would be like looking at, but I'm diving in because y'all said so. And you know what? After episodes 1 and 2, you're right. I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm diving into Death Note, episode 3. If you want all unedited episodes of this or any series we do, go to Patreon. It's there, man. It's a great community, great chat room, a chat room for every series we do. We've got tons of series over there. And the VIP tier gets to pick what we watch. They picked Death Note, which is why I'm watching it now. So thank you for that, Patreon. It's a great community. The VIP tier, a great way to support a channel, and we're grateful for that.
Let's start with the tip line reports.
Yes, sir. Up to this point, we've received 3,029 responses about the murders via telephone and email. Most of these have been curious citizens and prank calls, but there are 14 people who claim to either know Kira or who have seen him. This week, there were an additional 21 people who called in claiming to be Kira.
Oh boy, here we go. Come on, y'all.
Concerning L's request that we investigate the time of death for each victim, we found that all of them occurred between the hours of 4 p.m. and 2 a.m. on weekdays, local time, with 68% of them occurring between 8 p.m. and 12 a.m.
I think this is clever. I love investigations, Sometimes I think I might be clever or be able to figure things out, but when I hear people do investigations, there's some people who just have a knack. And when I see investigations done this way, and I know they have protocol, but it's so cool to see how L said, I was going to publish this everywhere, but I decided just to keep it local. And now that we did, and we know you've responded like this, we know you're local. I just love that because now we've narrowed our search field. It's not the entire world. It's just right here. And then these investigators are like, we've narrowed down the window of time these things have happened. So then they can get even closer in, I think, on who this might be or where they might be, because that's going to really help, I think, finding a location, like an area, instead of saying in the United States, it's in the United States. If you're saying it's on the West Coast or the East Coast, or if it's near Texas or near California or something, you'd be able to narrow your search. I just think it's cool to see this.
Our suspect could very well be a student.
Wow.
Based on the fact that Kira's...
Why wouldn't he be like a worker? He works a job from 8 to 5. I don't understand. He might be busy doing his job from 8 to 5. So he could just as well be a worker, right?
Based on the fact that Kira's only killing criminals, I think it's safe to assume that he's driven by a very idealistic notion of justice. It's highly possible he may even aspire to be some sort of godlike figure. We're dealing with an individual who has a very childish concept of right and wrong. Of course, this is mere speculation at this point.
Yeah, it could be anybody.
Well, I'm not saying this to support Kira or to condone the murders, but in the last few days throughout the world, but especially here in Japan, we've observed a dramatic decrease in the number of violent crimes committed.
Oh, dude. Oh, this is so good. Mental health-wise, this is like perfect. I'm thinking people are noticing this is happening. Criminals are noticing this is happening. And they're kind of putting 2 and 2 together and figuring, gosh, somebody's murdering all these criminals. Like there's a target on the criminals' back, these aggressive criminals. So maybe these people who are committing these crimes are like, man, I'm going to lay low because if I commit a crime and get on the news or whatever, I could be next on that list. So it slows, which begs the question of, does this kind of punishment work? This is where it goes with it mentally. I'm not saying this from my point of view, just point out what I hear, that, hey, if we make an example of these criminals, these violent criminals, then maybe the rest of the people in the world will follow suit and not commit the crimes.
Thank you, everyone. I feel we're one step closer to finding Kira. Before I go, I'm afraid I have one additional request to make. This is directed to the teams investigating the victims, TV news, and internet. I would like you to go back and take a closer look at the exact way in which the victims' identities were made public. Be as thorough as possible.
About what I said earlier at our meeting. Well, now that I think about it, I'm sure everyone already knew that. I wanted to apologize.
What on earth are you talking about?
Thought it was
Nobody said it would be easy
wise.
to speak the truth, but it has to be done, especially when it's something that isn't easy to say.
I knew I could count on you, Light.
Hey, so do you think you're ready to try a few on your own now?
Huh? Yeah, I guess so.
It is something with his sister. He's so helpful. She looks up to him, admires him, like, thank you for helping. And he's just this brother. But on the flip side, he's got a whole another side of him. This happens a lot in life. If y'all see people, you might have been one or you know somebody. It's like, you are this completely amazing, helpful, wonderful, kind, sweet person. But then on the other side, you are so sinister.
He's home really early today.
Hey, why don't you at least try the last problem by yourself?
I will, but maybe
Wants
after
to go
dinner.
see Dad.
Yeah, right.
Helping your sister with her homework, you sure are relaxed.
Of course. Hey, glad you could join us for dinner. You hungry, Dad?
Yeah, it's been a long day.
What in the heck just happened? If I'm not mistaken, that's the guy heading the investigation with the investigators, the police. His dad is the head of the investigation. And his son is Kira. This keeps getting better. In a bad way, but a great way. I cannot believe this is true.
But this case I'm working on now is really tough.
I see.
Ah.
Well, Daddy's a policeman.
Mm-hmm.
And that must be the reason why you're so confident.
That's it. His dad's the policeman, and he's so confident. He is suckering everybody at this point.
That's right. It's easy for me to hack into Dad's computer. We're on a home network, so I can copy the files I need without leaving a trace.
Cannot
This way I
believe
can
it.
Keep track of their investigation.
Cannot believe it.
Here we go.
I mean, if I'm not trying to be like moral and upright and upstanding as a citizen and a person, I'm going to say Light is a genius. I'm going to say Light is way ahead. It's like criminals sometimes, you know, you're trying to work on ways that they're cracking codes and getting away with crimes, but they're already past that and on to the next thing. He is so smart that I'm not saying I really like him for doing everything he's done, but I'm saying I just admire his ingenuity. Can I say that as a therapist? Like, because I'm supposed to sit in my office and say, Light, this is not at all the way you should be living. And by the way, I do talk to my clients very directly and honestly about that. But I'm trying to just get into this show. So part of me is like leaving the therapist mode and saying, okay, this is genius.
Looks like the police are already beginning to suspect a student.
I guess that means you're in trouble.
Aha. Last person his dad would suspect is him.
If the cause of death is written within 40 seconds of writing the person's name, it will happen. If I write heart attack as the cause of death, then I should be able to write down all the details, including time of death afterwards, shouldn't
Oh, change it up.
I? Looks like I'll be able to provide you
Oh
with more
my
entertainment.
goodness. He's going to be able to write heart attack, even though that's the default. And then he'll write the details of how the heart attack will happen and when, which could be 2 days later, could be middle of the night. He could totally shift. Oh my gosh. There goes another one. During school. During lunch. People are like,
Another 23 victims yesterday? Are these confirmed?
Yes.
The day before, there were another 23 victims. He's killing one off every hour on the hour.
Considering that this new pattern has been
throw
going on for
people
2
off.
weekdays,
It does punch some holes in the theory that our suspect is a student.
Maybe not. Anybody can skip 2 days of school.
Ask yourselves, why every hour? And Then why are all these victims in prisons where they are sure to be discovered immediately? Why not other criminals like before? I believe Kira is telling us that not only can he kill from a distance, but he can also determine the time of death.
L is a genius too. Which side do I pick? This guy's incredible. I just feel him sensing like, okay, pay attention, everybody. It's not about whether it's a student or not. Because if we do that, then we're just going to be chasing rabbits all over the place. Just that's not the point. The point is he's sending a message that he can determine the time because he's killing one off every hour, which kind of is not super smart because that's another pattern. He had a pattern before. I was doing it at certain times. Now he's doing this to just say, hey, I can do whatever I want. And probably would have been smarter to just completely randomize things. Maybe even take a break, maybe even like just shift it up. But now he's created a new pattern, and that's what L, I think, is saying.
This can only mean that Kira has access to police information. It's obvious now. This is a direct challenge to me.
I'd say L is probably starting to sweat a little by now. What'll really make his job difficult is that I've deliberately left about 50 criminals alive for times like this.
Oh, what is he hoping to achieve in the end?
Don't get. Showing them
just
you have
floating
connections
along.
to the police makes it easier for them to find you than when they just suspected you were a student.
Well, my real agenda is to get close to L so I can eliminate him.
How are you gonna do that?
What's especially important is that L and the investigators don't trust each other at all. Think about it. Could you trust someone whose name and face you don't even know? When L discovers that I'm somehow getting confidential information, he'll be obligated to start investigating the police to find the source of the leak.
Somebody here is leaking.
When that happens, it'll only be a matter of time before the police start resenting L. I'm not the one who's going to find L. I can let the police do that for me. And when they do, that's when I'll eliminate him.
With all due respect,
They're
Chief,
like, we're out.
We're resigning.
I'm out of here. I don't want to be
demand that you
accused.
assign us to a different case. Otherwise, you can have our badges right here and now.
Why? You're good cops.
Isn't it clear? It's because we value our lives, sir.
If what L says is true, Kira has some ESP-like power that somehow allows him to
He
kill
could
people
name
indirectly.
any one of us.
I'm sure you recall L's last request. He asked that we take a closer look at how these victims' identities were made public, and specifically to determine whether photos of the victims were available to the public prior to their deaths. Well, it turns out he was right. Every single one of those victims' names and photos were broadcast to the Japanese public, and then they died.
This is the infiltration. This is where, he's turning them against themselves because they're saying, L's just hiding behind the dang shadow over there, and we're out in the open. And if Kira finds out we're the ones investigate, any one of us, he can knock us off because wouldn't you want to get rid of the investigation team? And wouldn't you want nobody else to want to be a part of the investigation team?
We brought the FBI to Japan 4 days ago. They're fully operational. As requested, they're now gathering intel on the police.
And this is the complete list?
Yes.
There are 141 people in the police force who have access to classified information regarding the investigation.
Light, you got a second?
Narrowing
I
down.
already told you can't talk to me in public. How many times do I have to tell you?
In that case, I'll talk, you just listen. If you don't want to hear me, you can plug your ears or something. First of all, I don't have anything against you. I actually think the notebook couldn't have been picked up by a better person. You're being followed by another human. He's watching you right now.
Who is that?
Who would be following me?
Did they have people like
Does this
assigned?
mean L is already starting to suspect the police? If he's going to investigate the police, he'll need a lot of resources and manpower. Even if he has as many as 50 people on the case, I don't see how they could ever figure out that I'm Kira.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. What makes a Shinigami and a human who has a death note different? Well, there are two things. And why do Shinigami have to write the names of humans in their death notes? You got any ideas? Let's say you have a human who is due to live until the age of 60, and a god of death wrote that this person would die at 40. 60 minus 40 equals 20. Now those 20 years taken from someone in the human world are added to that god of death's life.
Wow,
So it
keeps
means
them
that
living.
as long as we don't slack off, Shinigami can tell what a person's name is by just looking at their face. We know instantly. And do you have any idea why? Because through a Shinigami's eyes, a human's name can be seen above their head. Not only that, we see their lifespan as well. I'm able to see your name and lifespan right now. If I converted that to human time, I could tell you how many years you've got left, but there's no way I'd ever tell you that.
Oh, wow.
I may have a big mouth, but even I wouldn't go that far.
Incredible.
If a Shinigami drops his death note and a human picks it up, he can grant that human the eyes of a Shinigami. But only if a deal is made. Price for having a Shinigami's eyes is half of that person's remaining lifespan. That's all it is. If you were supposed to live another 50 years, it'll be 25. If it was one more year, then 6 months.
I see. And since you've made it clear you're not on anyone's side, and won't help me out, you wouldn't just give me the names of people I wanted to kill.
Give me half your remaining lifespan, and I'll give you the Shinigami eyes.
If I agree, I'll be able to know everyone's name just by looking at them. If I had that power, the Death Note would only be easier to use.
So,
but you're killing
will
yourself.
It be light?
There's the guy following. I cannot believe it. Honestly, cannot believe this. What an ending. Is Light losing his mind? Like, because my immediate thought is, so I'm going to gain these amazing powers to be able to know and see people. As soon as I see them, I'll know who they are and know their lifespan. But I'm not going to gain any extra life, right? He's not going to gain years by killing anybody. So he's actually losing half of his lifespan. So he's going to die a whole lot sooner, but have all these amazing powers. I mean, that'd be like telling me I'm going to have $100 million, but I only live for one more week. And so I just do all I can as quick as I can, and then I'm gone. I don't get to actually appreciate and enjoy it. I feel like if that's the truth, Light is losing his mind here just over the sense of power. And man, Shinigami, Yukester, he's genius in his own right. Because he's kind of drawn himself in as like a roommate friend. And now he's like, strike a deal with you. You can have what I have, the power I have. But you have to give me half of your life. So he needs to keep accumulating years too. And he's suckering him in. He's manipulating him into this. Oh my gosh. Remember, this is not real therapy. It's not at all. It'll send you there, but it's not. It's sending me there a couple times a week at this point, probably. But if you want help, check the links in our description, leave your comment, and please understand that mental health matters. Go to Patreon, the VIP tier, check it out, all unedited. It is the behind the scenes of Tom and everything else that goes on, a chat room for every series. We can talk daily about this stuff. It's amazing. The VIP tier on Patreon is a great way to support a channel and also a cool way to have a community. We'll see you on the next Reaction Therapy.